Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Fort Mill, South Carolina for what should be a fantastic matchup here in the East Coast Basketball League. It's going to pit the this year's reigning champ against the runners-up. That is the primetime players here out of Fort Mill, and they are hosting the Carolina Thunder out of Hartsville, South Carolina. The primetime players will be in the red with the blue old Washington Bullets look, and the Carolina Thunder wearing the teal with the orange, looking more like the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the tip is underway, and we are quickly off and running as James Richardson fires one from deep and off the rim, no good. Starting five for the visiting Carolina Thunder, you have Alex Brown, Trey James, Jarvis Williams, James Richardson, and DJ Mason. As the deep three by Odell Turner is good. And zeros are off the board for the primetime players. Starters for the primetime players, you have Chris Moore, Terell Smith, Dijuan Harris, Odell Turner, and PJ Heath. Deep from the wing side, no good, off the back of the iron, and then tipped up and in. 5-2 ball game. Primetime players love to get up and down. They scored 173 points in their last game last Saturday. Working around the wing side is Richardson, now back top of the key to Mason. Mason drives, kicks down baseline, the baseline three, high arcing shot in the corner is good for Alex Brown. Alex Brown picking up his first points of the game. And we'll get the hoop and the harm underneath. As going strong to the hole was Odell Turner. He'll try to go to the line and pick up 3 points the old-fashioned way. Mentioned in the open, the runners-up, the Thunder, looking to unseed the reigning champs, the primetime players. 3 straight championships since joining the ECBL. Free throw rattles in and out. And pushing it up court is Jarvis Williams. The isolation on Chris Moore. Moore lets him go by, and the pass inside, the nice dish to Mason. Wing shot off the side of the iron, no good. Rebound and pushed into the front court. As Richardson looks to drive baseline, he'll pull up, waste no time. Off the iron, and quickly, long baseball pass in the dunk, rattles in and out. As PJ Heath picks up a couple. Both teams undefeated on the season. Primetime players, 3-0. This ball continues to be batted around underneath the basket and finally finds a home as Mason picks up his 3rd and 4th points of the game. Dijuan Harris looking for help, finds a cutting Chris Moore and down the lane, and the layup is good. So Moore finally on the board, leading scorer in the ECBL, averaging just 45 points a game. So the game is only 48 minutes as we're going to get a foul on the shot. And now Jeffrey Brooks, one of the officials for today. Dennis Boyd and Joe Major, the other officials, say that foul was on the floor. Nobody guarding the Williams, and Williams will drive, and the left-hander is good. And that's going to draw the ire of the head coach for the primetime players, Chris Thomas, wondering where the defense was. Thunder in a man-to-man defense. A little isolation on Chris Moore. He finds the cutting PJ Heath underneath, and Heath, bucket is good. Banging down low, imposing his will underneath the basket was Mason, and Mason will be fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair. First offering off the front of the rim. Dijuan Harris fouled on the way to the basket. He'll go to the line for a pair. 15-12 ball game, 8:34 to go. They have the shot clocks in either end zone, although at this rate, they might as well leave them turned off. As the bucket is up and good for Harris. Mason. Center dribbling. Draws the contact. They're going to say it was on the floor. Foul's going to go against Terell Smith. Move forward along in this game. We'll keep you updated with some of the other games that are going on. As you can catch all the ECBL action this year on netcastsports.com. The bucket is up and good by Trey James. And quickly moving forward is Harris. Harris, 18-footer, rattles around the rim and drops through. More with the strip. And Harris now up into the front court. Crowd wanting a travel. Ball knocked away and picked up by Williams. Headed the other way. Williams looking down low. The pass inside. And they'll kick it back out to Mason. Mason will try a three. Back of the rim, unkind. Into the front court to Smith. Smith now over the wing, gets it back out to Moore. Moore looking for some isolation with the bigger Mason. Takes on Mason and drains the three. Chris Moore picking up where he left off last week as the shot is blocked by Moore. Harris over to Moore. Another three attempt by Moore. Back-to-back threes. It's now a 24-16 primetime player lead on the back-to-back threes by Chris Moore. Moore hit 17 in a game last week as he dropped 67 points. And we're going to get a double dribble on Moore. Moore is disgusted. We'll give Joe Major a look. Trying to explain to Dennis Boyd that he never put his hand underneath the ball. He kept it on top, that it may have been a high dribble. Trell Rogers into the game now for the Thunder. Moore gets a pick, drives the lane, then kicks it out. Sidesteps the defender. Ball no good, tips up and good. Odell Turner raises his hand. Rogers now weaving his way around, finds a cutting Trey James, and the bucket is no good. Moore thought about it, tips it down baseline, and the baseline three is good. By Terell Smith. Rogers is going to get called for extending the elbow. Shoved off, offensive foul. More substitutions for the Thunder. As now entering the game is Brandon Page. As we're going to get a timeout at the 5:44 minute. Primetime Players lead this one 29-18. We'll step aside for just a moment. You're watching the ECBL on netcastsports.com. Back to action here from Bank Street Gym in Fort Mill, South Carolina. Is driving the lane and putting left-handed layup is Dijuan Harris. Just picking up his 7th point of the game. The drop off by the newly inserted Brandon Page down low to a cutting DJ Mason. Mason now with 6. Moore can't catch the pass, the product out of Charleston Southern. And that'll be a turnover. Nice gym here at Bank Street. It's kind of a throwback as the deep 3 by James Richardson is good. He's in the books. Chris Moore wasting no time off the front of the rim, no good. So the wooden ceiling, they're estimating that this gym was just about 70 years old. Gives character. We've got a foul on the other end. Fouled in the act of shooting. And now they're going to say it was before the shot. Nice try by Terell Rogers to throw the ball up, maybe get to the line. But he'll drive, he'll take on 2 defenders. Then he'll kick it back out to Mason. Mason driving hard with the left hand. Screens his defender off with the body and picks up another 2. Harris, quick 3. Fires from the hip, off the back iron, no good. Into the front court, running with it is Richardson. And Moore will get fouled along the sidelines on the far side. Frenetic pace to begin here, but Thunder climbing back in this. They once trailed by 11. It's now 31-25, 4:13 to go. Deep 3 is true for Terell Smith. Thunder backing out. Andrew Crawford now looking to go to the right hand. Misses, but there to clean up the mess was DJ Mason, and Mason now 10 points on the night. Shot no good. Numbers in the front court, and going strong to the basket was Richardson. No good, but Brandon Page with the putback. He'll get in the scorebooks with a couple. primetime players prior to this were in the Tobacco Road Basketball League, where they also won 3 titles there. They have 6 minor league titles, which Chris Thomas has assembled a pretty good squad as the 3 is off the mark. Offensive rebound now out top. Moore calling for it in the corner. They dish down low and they find the cutting Brian Mobley, and Mobley's in the books with a couple. Dashawn Bethea now works on Moore. Mason, not shy, fires one from the hip, too long. And Moore can't connect with the cutting Jaime Vaughn. Gonna get another offensive foul. This time it's going to be on Brandon Page. And both teams will substitute as going to the bench Odell Turner. For the players, Moore now double team. Traveling is the call on Donald Rutherford, newly inserted into the game. I mentioned the 6 titles that primetime players have picked up in 2 different leagues. And talking to Chris Thomas before the game, as the deep 3 by Rogers, no good. Quick rebound though by Brown. Now swings around into the corner, and driving is Bethea. Bethea with the right hand, no good. Battling for it is James, and James with the putback. Now leads all scorers with 13. Moore, reverse layup, trying to shield off Mason with the rim. That shot is blocked. Looks like a clean block from here. Now we'll send Patrol Rogers to the line. There's a foul on check that, Terell Smith. Smith now with 2 fouls. The first shot for Rogers is good. Trey James will spell DJ Mason for the Thunder. Second one and 3 is now with under a minute 45 to go here in the first quarter. It's now a 36-33 lead. Thunder have just been chipping away at this lead. Nice dish off to Rutherford, and Rutherford will go to the line. A lot of bumping and banging. Anyway, getting back to the 6 titles is Rutherford's shot is up and good. And Chris Thomas said that his team is looking forward to go to the basketball tournament, more affectionately known as TBT. I wanted to let everyone know that shot is off the mark for the Thunder. Smith cross court. Finds the left-hander from Charleston Southern, and his 3 is off the mark. Quickly Rogers into the front court, dishes, finds the trailing Bethea, and Bethea pulls the Thunder to within 4. Now we're gonna get an offensive foul on the screen, a moving screen on Rutherford. And he said that you can head to TBT, or the basketball tournament website, starting April 1st, and search for the primetime players and get your votes in so those guys can make it into that tournament, as the deep 3 is no good, off the mark by Alex Brown. Vote early and vote often. Under half a minute to go here. Shot clock now down to 9. That's the deepest the shot clock has been all day. Off the rim, 24 on the clock. 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and now the shot clock is off as we're under 16. The inside out, that won't matter. The left-hander by Rogers, no good. Corralled by the players, and Chris Moore goes coast to coast. And that will do it for the first quarter. It's a 41-35 primetime players lead. We'll be back in a moment with more ECBL basketball on netcastsports.com. Welcome back, everybody, as we get set to start the second quarter. The hometown Fort Mill primetime players and reigning champs up 6 on the runner-up Carolina Thunder. What a rivalry this has turned out to be. Both teams are trying to stay undefeated on the season. The Thunder 2-0 and the primetime players 3-0. Something has to give here today. Rutherford looking for help. Finds a cutting Moore. Moore swings it baseline. 8-foot jumper is true for Brian Mobley. Tend to shoot on the shot clock. They'll push it down low. Now back out over to the corner. No good. Strong rebound by Alex Brown. You're going to get a foul on Mobley. And I think at some point the officials are going to have to check the clock as it's showing there's only 1:12 to play in the second quarter, but we just started. Should be 11-12. Maybe a number is burnt out. DJ Mason will return for the Thunder, and Chris Moore will get a rest. Mobley's free throw is up and good. Deep three, left-handed. Nobody blocks out Mason, and Mason with the reverse layup, still no good. The ball will stay with the Thunder as it was tipped out of bounds off primetime players' hands. Mason has been a workhorse for the Thunder, leading all scorers with 13, goes up strong, has it blocked, now uses the left hand, tries to shield the defender, and he's going to go to the free throw line. Joe Major and Dennis Boyd are going to talk about it. Mason trying to, got hacked on the right arm. He's trying to, shaking his wrist just a bit. The first free throw is no good. Second one rings true. Quick run to the basket, and the right-hander is good by Harris. Not wasting any time with the answer. It's Jarvis Williams. Deep three by Rutherford, air ball, misses the front of the rim. And trapped in the backcourt is Williams. He couldn't get any help from his teammates. And that's going to be a turnover. As Rutherford with the pump fake gets Mason to leave his feet. Mason grinning about it. Frustrated with it, and Rutherford picks up a pair. Picking up a foul inside is Mobley. Be his second. Send Trey James to the line. Now the sun, it's been an overcast day outside, but there's windows here in the old-fashioned gym, and the sun's beginning to come out. Shines through some of this old glass pane here at Bank Street Gym. Second free throw is good. We're gonna get gonna wave off the basket. He's gonna get a lane violation. What a great time of year it is to be watching basketball, be playing basketball, as Jaime Vaughn picks up a bucket. Deep three, rattles in and out, but who's there? Mason, he's been there all day. His left-hander, the 8-foot jumper is good. And Chris Thomas puts his hands on top of his head. You know, what do we have to do to stop this guy? Rutherford from the elbow. Little floater is up and good. Ooh. Prime time applying a little pressure and going coast to coast is Jarvis Williams. Clock winding down to nearly 8.5 as the Rutherford's good. The players have pushed this back out to an 11-point lead. Another foul. Foul starting to mount up on the players who already have a shortened bench. There's one of their normal starters is here, in Victor Street. He's told that he would be taking the day off with an injury. Williams. His first free throw is good. Second one is good. Came into the game shooting 100% from the free throw line. He had only attempted 3 all year. As Moore now inserted back into the game for the players. And the 3 is good by Vaughn. Mason with the pump fake. And Chris Thomas is going to get a timeout. He didn't like the way how easy that was for Mason underneath. We'll take a quick break with him. You're watching ECBL on netcastsports.com. And we'll see what Coach Thomas drew up in the huddle. I think he just wanted to focus his guys on putting a body on DJ Mason. Quick steal numbers, and look at Mason running the floor. You got to reward the big guy, and the dunk is no good. Oh my, he had DJ Mason just looking to flush it if he got it to him. And instead, Jarvis Williams, a little short on the dunk off the side of the iron. Ball tipped out of bounds. It'll stay here with primetime. Chris Moore to inbound. Tried to find a cutting Moore. No good. Now Williams back down the floor, trying to make amends for that missed dunk. Throws the right-hander up. No good, but there to clean it up again is Mason. Mason now with 21 on the night. Is Harris quick to the bucket. The UNC Charlotte product, the 49ers. As he picks up the steal, Harris into the front court. Boy, what a shot in the arm the 49ers have. As Moore's left-handed three deep, no good. Pushed ahead to Mason, and Mason will get another two. Well, you gotta love the big man playing it. But anyway, we were talking about with Harris as he brings it up, as the 49ers making headlines this past week. As the three off the mark, and another rebound by Mason. Ball batted around. Moore corrals it. Leading scorer in the ECBL out of Charleston Southern gets caught up in the air. You're going to call it jump ball. So we'll get a host of substitutions. As now re-entering back the game is Odell Turner. And PJ Heath is going to get a jump ball. Anyway, the 49ers hiring Roy Sanchez, assistant coach at Virginia after they were ousted. And that's got a big buzz over there, appropriately named there in the Buzz City, home of the Hornets. Deep three, no good, rebound Moore. The 49ers look to start building that program back up. Exciting times over there at UNCC. Tough job as Odell Turner trying to back his man down. Had the chair pulled out from underneath him. He lost it out of bounds. This big guy's expecting contact, and the littler guy steps to the side. Had him off balance. Rogers. It over, wing, shot, oh good, off the front of the rim. Moore trying to get it to a cutting Harris. Moore second in the league with averaging just under 10 assists a game as well. We already mentioned that he's averaging 45 points a game. Lays one off underneath. That will get PJ Heath now with 7 points. Rogers working one-on-one, and Moore's going to get called for the foul. blocking foul, be a shooting foul. And we'll get a timeout with 5:31 left here to go in the first half. 62-52, primetime over the Carolina Thunder. Rogers now heads to the line after the foul on Moore. Quick timeout. What a frenetic pace is at the 5.5-minute mark. Both teams on about 130-point pace. Dijuan Harris now, the crossover, step back. Good. And he now has 11. Bucket by Andrew Crawford. Whistle dead. Weren't ready to. His ball was knocked out of bounds. Harris. Isolation, steps inside the arc, and the 18-footer is good. Well, the Thunder trailed this one by 11, but the one thing, if you had to say it was positive, is they are keeping the leading scorer in Chris Moore in check. Came out firing, he hit back-to-back threes, and then has been somewhat quiet as that shot rattles in and out. There to clean it up is PJ Heath. .55, 13-point lead by the players. Under 9 to shoot on the clock. Cutting across the lane and then fadeaway jumper, no good, but hits the rim. The clock resets. Scramble for it on the floor, diving bodies. And coming out of the pack with it is James Richardson. Finds his man underneath, and that's Rogers. The off-balance shot. Floating and gliding in is Harris. Well, the Thunder had their backs turned. Harris taking advantage of it. Three off the mark. But the soft bank. Good for Richardson. Dumped inside to Turner. And the Wingate. Former Wingate player, Odell Turner. He's also got one of his teammates on the bench, Jaime Vaughn. A little bit of jawing going on back and forth between Mason and Turner. Rogers weaving and bobbing, now runs into a double team, trapped along the baseline. Able to get it out to the wing for Richardson. No good. Off and running again, and into the front court is Moore, wasting no time. Picks up his 12th point, and then right on the other end, Mason lowers his shoulder and is going to get called for the offensive foul. Mason with a little bit of space before he took off, lowered that shoulder, knocking the defender to the ground. Moore thought about it, now drives, kicks it back out. Deep three from the side, tipped by Moore, and it'll be out of bounds. Turnover. Largest lead of the game so far for the players. They've pushed it out to 16 with under 2 here to go before halftime. Head coach Sebastian Page for the Thunder has gotten Mason out of the game as he's got foul trouble. Little drop off and a big block, and 2 Thunder defenders going for it. Neither one of them can corral it to get it back in. Stay down on this end. Alex Brown now re-enters the game, and they'll give Rogers a rest before the half. Give him a little extra breather. Into Harris. Harris sizing up his man Williams, and the soft three-pointer. Now they're going to say it was a 2. 78-59, just under 80 seconds to go. Williams is fouled, drawing the contact. Harris with a big grin, and he'll take a lap around the gym. Fouls beginning to mount up for the players. He's re-entering the game as Brian Mobley. Baseline 3, no good. Rebound as we hit under a minute to go, and sidestepping the defender. He'll pick up the block. Nice move to avoid the charge. As Turner had his feet set. And Trey James, instead of running straight into him, which would have been a charge, sidesteps him and gets the block, goes to the line for a pair. And the first one is true, 78-62. Second one off the front of the rim, no good. Moore tries to drop it off, knocked away, and had his pocket picked by Turner quickly into the front court. And that's a bucket by Alex Brown. Alex Brown now has 7. Thunder trying to go on a little bit of a run before the half, but that is quelled by Brian Mobley with his 7th point of the game. Deep 3 with under 30 to go, off the mark. Errant pass. Picked up, and the layup no good by Williams. Chris Moore finds his open man in the corner. The deep 3 off the bracket. We almost had Rutherford in our lap over here at the broadcast table. Is under 3 to shoot, got to put it up, and we're going to get a foul with 1.6 seconds left. Going to pick up a shooting foul on Jarvis Williams. And that will send Brian Mobley to the line. Could push this back out to an 18-point lead. No players get upset. I like the officials to swallow their whistle, but a foul is a foul no matter how many ticks are left on the clock. As the first one is true for Mobley. You can just ask the Louisville Cardinals about that. As they fell to Virginia earlier this year. Half court, good if it goes off the front of the rim, no good. And it is an 18-point lead for the Primetime Players, 82-64. We'll take a quick break and join us back here for the second half of ECBL basketball on netcatsports.com. And welcome back, everybody, as we get set to start the second half. The Primetime Players lead this one 82-64 over the Carolina Thunder. Got to have some work to do for the Thunder. They're going to catch up. They're going to get some more help from DJ Mason for the Thunder. He has 22. He's tied with Dijuan Harris of Primetime Players, both with 22 points as that rims in and out. And the Thunder are off and running. We'll see what kind of halftime adjustments they made. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here. We are at the Bank Street Gym here in Fort Mill, South Carolina, the home of the Primetime Players. If you're watching the action on netcastsports.com, deep three is on the mark. This is where you can catch all the ECBL action all year long. A little bit slower pace for the Primetime Players, who are halfway to 160 as more dishes inside to Heath. And they actually had a shot clock violation. Neither team had ran the clock down below 10 as Mason drives and misses with the right hand. Careful with those 3 fouls not to pick up a fourth early on. And Moore, the leading scorer for the ECBL, picks up a couple, and he's now got 14. So that is the positive mark for the Thunder, as they are holding the league leader in scoring, who dropped 67 last Saturday. As he had the luck of the Irish going, he hit 17 threes. Speaking of threes, that's a deep one by Andrew Crawford. 84-70. Harris drives, dishes down low, kicks it back out to Heath, and Heath bangs one home. Both teams undefeated as Mason just uses that big wide frame to shield off his defender and bump, bump, bump. Lose it out of bounds. It'll be Players' ball. I'm going to remind everyone that Primetime Players are looking to go to the basketball tournament, TBT. And we were told by Coach Chris Thomas before the game is the left-handed floater by Harris is good. And Harris now has 24 on the day, and he leads all scorers. The lead is now the largest they've had as Andrew Crawford is fouled on the three-point shot. And they'll be looking for your vote. And you can head to thebasketballtournament.com, tbt.com, starting April 1st. Vote early and often. Vote for the Primetime Players so they can go play in that big $2 million tournament. I know a lot of universities get teams together, and first free throw is no good. Schools put it together. It's a fun event. It's deep rebound, and with the putback is Odell Turner. So he's hoping that he'd love to stay here in the South Carolina area. Rebound by Moore. Quickly pushes ahead. Takes it all the way. The little floater shot put about the 8-foot mark is in and good. It's now a 20-point lead, 93-73. But they wouldn't mind going to the Ohio region. Deep three by Mason, no good. In and out. Harris off and running. He'll take it coast to coast. The dipsy-do up and under, no good. 2-on-1 coming this way. And the huge rejection. Return to sender by Terell Smith. No look pass by Mason. He'll kick it back out. Baseline wing. Off the back of the iron, no good, and Moore back the other way with a quick 2. Now Moore beginning to slowly fill it up. He's got 16 on the night. Like to go out to the Midwest and play some of those Ohio teams with the Primetime Players. We're going to get a travel before the foul. shot off the mark. Told you we'll catch up to some of the other games that are going on today. The Augusta Eagles are visiting the Carolina Crusaders. All these games tipped off a little bit earlier, and we'll try to get you updated on some of the scores. Long pass, knocked aside. Good job by Terell Smith to get back, get a hand on that ball before the easy layup, and they're going to take a timeout at the 7:26 mark here in the third quarter. 97-73, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the ECBL on netcastsports.com. Back to action. We were telling you about some of the other games that were going on. The Hickory Hoyas are visiting the Hampton Road Warriors. The North Carolina Coyotes are at the Rowan County Bulls, and the Forest Wildcats are at the Petersburg Cavaliers. And there's one game tomorrow. The Charlotte Tribe will host the East Carolina Cardinals. That is a deep three. And that will put Rutherford on the board here in the second half. Round wing side, finds Mason inside. Mason tried to shuttle it inside to Trey James. James wasn't expecting it. We've already hit 100 here at the 6:50 mark for the primetime players. A little Euro step, bucket's good, 102-73. Things starting to get really out of hand here for the Thunder. These two teams met last year in the finals of the ECBL. As the primetime players picked up their third straight championship, and now you're getting into some tall company when you start talking about winning 3 straight titles. And that's on any level, as right at the shot clock. It is good and true, and that is a deep three by Odell Turner. You're talking about the Bulls, who've done it twice. Lakers, those John Wooden teams, UCLA, Mason's free throw line jumper too strong. Inside out, and the three is good by Terell Smith. Mason fouled, he'll go to the line and shoot a pair. Smith hacked him on the arm in the act of shooting. And the Thunder are going to take a timeout. It's 108-75, under 5.5 to go here in the third quarter. We'll be back in just a moment with more basketball on netcastsports.com. Mason at the line. Picks up point number 23 on the afternoon. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in here on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening in Fort Mill. Points 24 to lead all scorers for Mason right now. Harris trying to match. Too strong off the backboard. Well aware that the NCAA tournament is going on right now in Loyola. In the first half, went on an 11-0 run. Looks like at the 13-minute mark, they've got a 21-7 lead over Kansas State. Much was made about Sister Jean and her bracket. She's the chaplain for the school, for the Ramblers. She had picked them to go out in the Sweet 16. What a cute story it is as the layup is in. No defense for the Thunder. 110-77 on 4:45. I know much has been made about how much parity has been in this tournament, whether it's good for the tournament or not. I don't know. I think that people are going to watch regardless of who's playing. I think it's that interesting as left-handed shot by Moore. Shot that from Charleston, just about 120 miles away that is the deep three, and answering quickly back is the Thunder, 113-82. But they were, I hear people as Mason drives the lane and he'll pick up another couple. He's now got 26 on the night. But much was talked about the 16-1. Virginia had some injuries. They struggled. And that's the thing about the tournament is you get these guys that have nothing to lose, and they start firing up shots from everywhere. And then when you hit shots, and some people want to say it's luck, but I don't know that luck has anything to do with what's going on at Loyola Chicago, as they shot 72% the other night from the field. I'm not going to get that kind of performance every night. But the guys just want to be included, and in that kind of tournament, it's interesting about basketball. You know, it's 5-on-5. And if you hit the shots, it's just a lot like baseball. I always say, man, you put a good pitcher out there, and a good pitcher will equalize good hitting. And just because you've got a huge collegiate name across the front of your jersey doesn't mean that you can't be beat by someone not as well known. Three from the wing, no good. Picked up and headed the other way by Jaime Vaughn. Vaughn drops it off. And the three attempt by Smith was no good. Rebound inside, and we'll get a foul with 3 minutes to go. 113-84. Not quite the scoring pace they had in the first half. But what a fun time of year it is for basketball. As Odell Turner will head to the line, the Wingate product. Battles around, and another rebound from Mason. Mason has been in beast mode all day, is drifting down the lane as Rogers, the frustrated Chris Moore, slaps the ball off the wall here at Bank Street Gym. Three is good by Turner. Later on tonight, they'll have the second half of that Final Four. So we'll be home in time after this game to pick some of that up on the radio, as it's a short jaunt for me back home. Head back up the road to Charlotte. I know our production team will be headed back to Winston-Salem. They have a little bit further drive. Hopefully that weather holds up for them. Just had some sleet and snow flurries on the way in today. Got a text from one of my buddies in Virginia. He said it is snowing. Mason with the tough drive. Can't get the bucket to go. Mason doing a great job with under 2 minutes here. He came in, started the second half with 3 fouls. Able to stay out of foul trouble. The Thunder just not able to muster any offense to cut into this lead. Moore thought about driving, saw Mason, the rim defender back there, thought better of it, kicked it wide. That shot no good. Of course, out in Omaha tomorrow, that matchup that everybody's waiting to see, Duke and Kansas would go at it. Got Texas Tech and Villanova up in Boston. Florida State and Michigan later on tonight. What a run for the Wolverines. Experts were trying to make a mountain out of a molehill with the Big Ten playing their tournament a week early. Maybe the extra rest. Aided the Wolverines as the second free throw is true. As we're 80 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Unless the Thunder, as the three is good by Vaughn, unless the Thunder mount an incredible fourth quarter comeback, this is pretty much all for naught. We're just waiting for the final buzzer to sound. Good hands, quick hands by Vaughn. Slaps it off his counterpart, Dashawn Bethea. And off Bethea. That shot, tried to get the shooter's touch, leaned into it just a bit, trying to will that ball into the bucket, but nothing doing. And Rogers still continuing to pump it in. He picks up point number 14 on the night. Bucket good is under 22 to play. Nope, in and out. Now we get a foul, and it's going the other way. Offensive. It's a shove on the rebound. So the Thunder would look to fall to, well, they'll fall to 2-1 on the season. On-time players would move to 4-0. As the quick three is good, and we're going to get a timeout. Thunder, they want to talk about it. There's no buzzer sounded, but now they're going to say that's going to be the end of the third period. As no time is on the clock, the whistle blew, and it was an indication of a timeout. We'll take it real quick. We'll be back in a moment with the final quarter here from Bank Street Gym in Fort Mill, South Carolina. You're watching ECBL basketball on netcastsports.com. Final quarter here from Fort Mill as they got to reset the clock. Officials will get together, stop play, determine how much time should be taken off the clock, and we're continuing to watch. Wow, with 9:42 left, Loyola Chicago up 25-14 over Kansas State. I'm just talking to our producer, Marcus Shockley, during the break about how at this point in the Elite Eight, it's not a fluke anymore. These guys are legitimate basketball players. The foul out top. Be on the floor prior to the shot, and Rogers will inbound. As coming to the sideline is Vaughn. He's limping off, twisted an ankle. And into the game now will be PJ Heath out of Allen University. Seeing limited playing time today. Probably get some more with this big lead as the three is air ball, no good. As there'll be no reason for Vaughn to go back in a 125-91 ball game. Give him some rest. Deep three is good. They're continuing to increase their lead. But you're at this point, Loyola Chicago, it doesn't matter what the seedings are, what it is, they're always going to be playing a school with the name across their jersey that's bigger than theirs. And they're hanging with the big boys because they're playing sound, fundamental basketball where they're not turning the ball over and they're executing their offense. I mean, so it shouldn't be any shock that these guys are hanging around. And you say, well, they're not going to beat a Duke. They can't beat a Kansas. I don't know. The game starts out 0-0 every time they take the court. Now coming to the sidelines is Terell Smith getting a rest. Dijuan Harris calling for isolation. Finds Heath down low. Heath back out top to Rutherford, and Rutherford cuts down the lane. Nice right-handed lay-in. Long three, no good. Harris with the dish. I mean, Harris averaging 13 assists a game. Has 9 so far. Both teams struggling to find buckets here in the second half. And finally, Alex Brown says, I've had enough. Bird dogging down at the other end of the court is Vaughn. Vaughn playing possum. Came off the court a minute ago with a hurt ankle. Reinserted back into the game, didn't get back on defense. Standing all alone. That old intramural trick back in the gym rat days. Fake the ankle injury and nobody pays attention to you back on the offensive end. Under 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. It's all but a formality now. It's one of the few things that Dijuan Harris has done wrong today. He travels. Chris Thomas gets timeout for the Thunder, able to set up the trap over on the far sideline. Wanted to keep possession with 9:06. We'll take a quick break and be right back with more ECBL basketball in just a moment. 132-95 our score here in Fort Mill. Here in the final quarter, fouled on the shot is Harris to be fouled by Rogers. Rogers with a couple of fouls. That'll send Harris to the line. Appreciate everyone, wherever you're watching today's game, on whatever device you're watching. The bucket is true. Another free throw coming for Harris. Harris up and good. But I tell you, if you haven't been out to watch one of these games live, they're highly entertaining. As you know, you can see by our score, it's sometimes, well, much more entertaining than some of the NBA games, that's for sure. What a good crowd here in Fort Mill today. It's a fun environment. Got DJs playing. There's always some kind of in-game entertainment. Mason picks up a pair, and it's the hoop and the harm, and he'll head to the line. .27. Chance to add 28 right here. Rattles it home, gets the shooter's touch. Pass underneath by Harris to Rutherford. Rutherford's probably thinking a few years ago, that's an alley-oop. But good crowds at all these gyms. You just got to go to the ECBL website to find out where a team is playing near you. Get behind them in your community. It's a lot of fun. Free throw off the mark. Of course, you can always keep up with the action here on netcastsports.com, and you can follow them on Twitter at Netcast Sports for all the latest news and information. And from what I understand, they're going to have a big announcement after Monday about some upcoming programming. Harris, not wanting any part of Rogers, steps out of the way, concedes the layup. Vaughn. That ankle's looking a lot better than it was a few moments ago. 7:45 to go, 140-102. Or excuse me, 139-102. 37-point lead. Primetime Players, one of the top scoring teams in the league. They scored 173 last Saturday. Of course, it helps when Mason fouled from behind. He was looking to punch that one home with authority. It helps when you have Chris Moore dropping 67. As he re-enters the game. Not quite that night tonight. Still doing all right. Not quite to that 20-point mark, but he's had a lot of rest. He'll probably finish out the rest of the game. Rogers misses on the alley-oop. And Rogers with the one-handed jam. Way to make amends for that missed oop just a second ago. Tray ball's good. 6:40 to play. Well, with just under 4 minutes left to half, Loyola is still hanging around. They went on an 11-0 run earlier. Kansas State has inched back into the game, but it's still a 8-point deficit as Loyola hangs on to a 30-22 lead. Looking to punch their ticket. It's been 55 years since their national championship back in 1963. Back when Sister Jean was a spry 43 years old. Thunder just looking to regroup, head back to Hartsville, South Carolina, and get ready for next week. Coach Thomas's primetime players, though, only looking to get better. We've got a couple of players finishing up their season overseas that will join them towards the end of April. It's hard to imagine that they would get better. They may be looking to put a 4th straight title up. Mason's 3 off the mark. In and out. Thunder just can't get anything to drop. They've been getting good open looks all day long. Just tough evening on the offensive side. Rutherford with a little razzle-dazzle as Odell Turner gets set to return back into the lineup. .447, 148, 106. Mason heads to the bench. Rutherford heads to the bench. You don't see that very often. Thunder opted not to put anybody on the line. Free throws missed, and you had 2 players from the same team battling for the rebound, end up tipping it back to the Thunder, but unable to convert. And the alley-oop. You could just see that the primetime players have been trying to put that play together all day long. Shooting foul with under 4 to go now. Shot just inside the free throw line, no good. And a foul. I think both teams are foul was a foul, and we talked about it in the first half as there was a foul with 1.6 seconds. It doesn't matter how much time is left on the clock, but I think both these teams are just saying, hey, guys, how about let's keep this clock ticking. It's 154, 107, 3.5 to go. And we've got an injury on the other end. Injured primetime player gets some help up. Jump ball. Harris looks over to the bench and says, give me a breather. Slowly walks over to the side. Slowly walks over. Deep three from the wing. Got numbers on this end. Unable to convert. The ball will stay down on this end. The only defender to get back was Terell Smith. He knocked it out of bounds. 2.5 here to play. Headed floater for Brown is in. 12 on the day for Brown. Primetime players not looking to run any clock today. As we are nearing the 120 seconds left to play. Foul on the shot. There was 10 seconds left to play. .90 seconds to go, and that is a deep three from the coach's box. Now they're just goofing around. Layup inside. It's 156, 119. Still shooting free throws is Heath. Heath pick up points 13 and 14 as he rattles it home. Thunder try their own alley-oop. No good. More shot, no good. The putback is. They cracked the 160 mark. Under a minute to play. Nice cut underneath. He used a little by Alex Brown. Could have used a little more of that all day long. Moore fires up a three. It's his average will drop tonight as he averaged 45 points. now they're just putting on a show, the Thunder are, for the crowd that's hung around to the very end as 20 seconds to go. 162-125. Thunder will fall to 2-1 on the season. Primetime players will move to 4-0. And right now don't look like a team that's going to be dethroned from their crown at any time soon. With 4 seconds left, punched down with authority is Richardson. And that will do it for us here in Fort Mill. 165-127, your final here from Fort Mill. You can always join us again next week. Just go to the ECBL website and check out the upcoming schedule. Like we said, follow them on Twitter at netcastsports.com and go to the website netcastsports.com as well. That's where all the games are broadcast, and you know that because you were watching us on that today. Your final here, 165-127 for the primetime players. For Fred, Amanda, Liam, and our producer, Marcus Shockley, I'm Alan Key. Thanks for watching us. Until next time, be safe.